Hi, it's Bridget here. We've got a blackout in our Airbnb, which is, a little bit inconvenient. And in some ways, just par for the course with camping and head torches and dealing with light and energy and power, not having power. So here I am, I'm sitting on my bed and chatting to you. Just wanted to talk today about solitude and intimacy and connection and community, and how it is for me on the trail with Franca. It's actually really been great because we have moments when we share. It just reminds me of being on night duty, actually, when I was a nurse, and you'd be on night duty with someone for like 7-8 hours and often not having a lot to do and just talking, trying to stay awake. So spending that time really connecting and having conversations that you don't really have time for during the day because you're so busy as a nurse on the wards. So with Franca, during the day, we're just spending all this time together, and there's some real deep intimacy that happens and connection and chatting and talking about our families, our longings and our dreams and our lives and stories from our lives and our families and our loved ones. And it's been really quite precious and beautiful. And but also we've had times of just not walking together when one of us stops. I stop to take photographs and Franca keeps walking, or I stop for a wee break and I say, I'll catch you up, you go ahead. And so then we have moments of solitude, which I really value too, because there's times when I can really just go at my own pace and listen to the birds and the silence and the noises of the bush. And so it's actually been quite beautiful having that coming in and out of silence and connection and conversation with a lot of ease and grace and beauty, and not sort of feeling this sense. I haven't felt this sense of obligation or I don't know, sort of urgency, or like there's been the real relaxed kind of ease around being together or not being together and talking or not talking. And so for me, that's been really, I'm really grateful for that, because I think it could be quite different with different people, different needs around connection and closeness and reassurance or whatever in the bush, because sometimes I know that it can be scary, it can be confronting being in the silence of the bush, and somehow the trees and sometimes it can feel like it's closing in, the silence and the magnificence of the trees, and the silence can just be quite confronting, I guess, and maybe bring up fear. And that's sort of when you're silent, though, that's when sometimes thoughts, ideas, memories can surface that aren't so pleasant, and it can drive people, I think, to start chatting inanely or reaching out and wanting to talk and dispel that fear or that discomfort. And I haven't felt that with Franca, and I really appreciate that. So I'm really grateful for how it has evolved, and not with any intention or talking about how it's... Well, we did talk a little bit at the beginning, and I made it clear to her that it wasn't something I really longed for, to be talking all the time, and that I quite enjoyed silence, and she was the same, and not feeling that obligation to talk to each other. So that was a relief at the beginning, but it wasn't really like we set any boundaries or rules or expectations around it. It's just kind of evolved, and I've really enjoyed that freedom and that flow between us. And so it kind of has me thinking about my life and how I live. I choose to live in an eco village, an intentional community, and I really long to belong to that, and to be part of, to be contributing, and to have a place in the community, and to be part of it. And also there's part of me that living in a close environment where everything is magnified, I feel like things in a community accelerate, and growth, personal growth and learning and confrontation and conflict often are accelerated and magnified. As like a macrocosm of the microcosm or something. So sometimes it can be intense and quite, difficult and challenging. And so there's times I notice when I just want to be alone, and I just want to withdraw and spend time by myself, and just attending to self-care and self-nurture and solitude and contemplation and reflection. And I choose not to go to social events, and not to go to meetings and working bees, and there's a lot going on sometimes, and sometimes there's this sense of obligation and assured around attending things, and at my age I've come to a point where I just go, no, that doesn't nourish me, that this point in my life or this point in my growth or whatever, I choose to be by myself, to reboot and nourish and take time to myself, and in order to if I don't do that, I am not good for anyone. I'm not able to be present to myself or to others. So there's times when I choose not to connect and not to be involved with the community, and being okay with that, and knowing that there's a balance, and that there's times for intimacy and connection, and times for solitude and space and breathing space and me time and alone time. And, I think that is so important. It's so important for all of us to have that space and acknowledge that that's important, and that sometimes you need to say no. When you're invited, when I'm invited to things, and when I'm feeling called to, or some pressure or expectation to join in, to be involved, to be social, to go out there and do things, and that's not always a good thing. It's not always going to meet my needs. And so I think being in nature, actually, the awe, the beauty, the magnificence of the trees, and the stillness, and the incredible deep green, and the flowing water, and the repetition of the path, and the leaves, and I don't know, the kind of that step after step, there's more earth, there's more green, there's more plants, there's more trees, more roots. I find some comfort in that it's like the sea, like the waves are just relentless and they keep coming no matter what. And it's ever changing, the sky colour is ever changing, and the moon comes up every night, apart from three days a month. And you know, every morning the sun rises and every evening the sun sets, and there's something about that is so nourishing to bear witness to. And I guess focusing in on how that rhythmic life, the rhythm of nature, there is a rhythm within me as well, and to honor that and to recognize and see that and relish in that and celebrate that and come to terms with that I'm not a machine, that I can't just turn myself on and keep going, that I need to stop and turn it off and turn inward sometimes. So that's what I'm taking. The power outage is an opportunity to turn inward, to go to sleep, to rest, to turn off, switch off, because we were actually watching TV when it happened. Yeah, so hope that's some reflection on nonviolent communication and needs for self-care and self-love and peace and ease and rest and relaxation and time and space. Okay, thanks. Bye.